he's one of our best customers, but I'll be tied up here all day.
That's right, Fred.
Are you finished? Thank you.
Yes, he'll be out there Monday.
Are you finished with your coffee?
Yes, I am, Edie.
Right.
Here, let me give you a hand.
Thanks.
Anybody want Oscar's coffee? It's gonna be cold.
Oh, save it. He likes it that way.
Not why he's always late?
He's late because he hates meetings. And this committee is on its way to a new record.
Edie.
Yes?
My wife will call about 11. Would you tell her that the furnace man will be there today?
Certainly. And you want no interruptions in here, is that right?
We'll rely on your own discretion, Edie.
And don't be too discreet if we're still here after dark.
Cheer up, Pete. I think we can settle this today.
Well, now you're talking, Walter. Oh, Edie, call the stationers, have them send over the best computer they have in the shop, and we can all go out and play golf.
I second the motion.
Oh, now look here, fellas. Well, Ned, I didn't know you were here. I thought we could accomplish something today. Oh, I'm just kidding, baby. We'll discuss this computer problem till it comes out of our ears, if it'll make you happy. Just right.
You know, he's not kidding. He does like it cold.
Well, I'm a busy man. It goes down faster. Well, come on, let's get started.
This committee to investigate buying a computer wasn't my idea. I never thought we needed a computer, and I still don't.
Now, Ned, you've got to admit we've all seen some amazing things done by other companies with their new EDP equipment.
That's right. And I still say we shouldn't lose our heads simply because we've seen a few people do some tricks with a new toy.
A toy? Oh, now, you know better than that, Ned. Whatever we do, whether we put in an installation or not, these instruments are going to change the business structure from top to bottom, just the way the airplane changed the methods of war.
That's pretty big talk, Bill.
This discussion, as you may have guessed, is slightly rigged to accommodate the substance of our report. But though our businessmen may not be real, their problem is. So is the information they will present about business use of computers. Consider that there are more than 15,000 U.S. companies with 50 to 100 clerks who are potential users of at least small-sized computers. And one can imagine discussions like this in business conference rooms any day.
Now, wait a minute. No one is saying we're going to have to change our whole setup. But I've seen too many big technological advances in my lifetime to start ignoring them now. Look what's happened to productivity. That was technology. Our own output has increased 10 times in the last 20 years, largely because of our new production methods. But what about our marketing operation? It's grown enormously, but our marketing methods have hardly changed at all.
Oh, we've got the best damn sales force in the whole industry.
Yes, but when it comes to distribution, when the goods start moving out all over this blessed country, we can't possibly know what's going on.
Now, how do you like that? Here we've had a first-rate business for years, and now suddenly we don't know what's going on. Oh, well, we know how much we're selling, don't we?
Yes, but the thing that gets me so excited about these new computers is they handle information with so much speed and efficiency. For the first time, you've got a tool to sharpen your marketing methods and keep them as up-to-date as production.
What'll it cost?
Well, nobody worried about cost when we put in this conference room.
That's right. And I was against that, too.
Oh, Ned, why do you always look for ways to cut costs? Sales fall off a little and you want to cut the sales force. You want to reduce advertising. Why, in a dynamic economy like ours, that's the negative approach. Now, a computer may not reduce costs, but if it increases our marketing efficiency, we'll get results. And that's the positive approach.
All right, let's say the key question is, what can it do for us?
I think it can do plenty. And there are people who can figure out whether it will save us any money. That depends on how it's used. Let's say we let it handle our payroll department.
It was Bill Carr who first introduced the possibility of buying or renting a computer. And it was this committee's investigation that finally convinced Walter Mecklin. A computer could handle a lot of the company's problems.
What problems? We're doing fine. Why not leave well enough alone?
But Mecklin has an answer. He has assembled a batch of customer orders which illustrate typical problems a computer could help to solve.
Now, each of these has to be backed by a varied inventory, substantially larger than the order itself. If it's too large, we're in trouble. And customers like this, Ward and Baird, They hold back their purchases all year, waiting for bargains, when we have to clear the warehouse. And here's Steve Rockwell in Tulsa. He sends in about 30 orders a year, all for small quantities. They add up in volume, but is there any profit in it? Here's Acme Supply, a good customer. They say we could cut prices if we'd spend less on advertising. This fella says we're not spending enough.
You're talking about Charlie Malloy.
Yes.
Forget it. His son-in-law works for an ad agency.
How you know?
This discussion will continue for some time. While it does, let's go back to some other meetings they've held in the past year, in the office and elsewhere, and pick up the highlights.
Well, there I was in the bar, and this fella came in with a live duck and ordered 2 martinis. Well, the bartender said, "Now, look, mister, I don't mind serving you the martinis, but I'll be damned if I'll serve the duck." So there was quite
You're
an...
probably wondering what kind of a highlight this is in a serious treatise about computers. But after the joke, Oscar explained that the man with the duck worked for a detergent manufacturer who had just installed a new computer. One thing led to another, and Oscar was invited to see their installation.
Here was a company doing $20 million a year. 50,000 customers. Average order $60. Now, this meant about 1,500 orders a day. Why, the fellow told me it used to take a whole day to process. The new equipment does all 1,500 in 43 minutes. And what a job it does. Not only fast and accurate billing, with all specifications, but an immediate breakdown of price, cost, discount, and salesman's commission on each item. The whole profit and loss picture at a glance. Oh, but the big payoff comes later. Because remember, the machine has stored all the facts you fed into it. And with the right programming circuits, well, at the touch of a button, it can dish it all out again, organized according to your own prescription. So what happens? This company, which used to wait 3 weeks, or maybe longer, to send sales recaps to each department, now has them ready a day after the monthly accounts are closed. Now, if you're asking me if this installation cut costs, the answer is probably no, because nobody was fired.
Not even your pal with the duck.
Oh, they put the duck in a TV commercial and they made the guy a vice president. No, what the computer did for them was to save time and produce results which weren't possible before. Now, what's wrong with you, Smiley?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how you save time. What do you do with all that flood of statistics and reports?
Oh, that's easy. You stuff them in your briefcase, take them home for the weekend, and ignore them. Same as now.
Speak for yourself, Pete.
Who else?
The computer can be programmed to check its own statistics. Now, this means fewer reports and a big saving in time.
Sure, and money. Money. I would have to open my big mouth.
On other occasions, there were reports of the tremendous job a computer could do on inventory. Pete told about a tool company in the Midwest that, with a quick feedback of data from sales to production, cut inventory 50%. Another time, Mecklin told about an electric equipment maker and how with EDP and tight inventory control, they were able to speed up delivery of industrial products, practically eliminate cancellations, which sometimes ran as high as 20%, added about $10 million to their gross.
$10 million, huh?
Even Ned was impressed, at least for a while.
You know, I've been thinking about these inventory schemes. They're all right if you got a centralized warehouse. But we got warehouses all over the country. I don't think that we're ready to put a computer in every warehouse.
What about getting rid of our warehouses altogether?
Huh?
I'm serious. Some other companies are using their EDPs to do just that.
And Bill proceeded to describe his visit to a company which used to have 12 warehouses all over the country and decided to get rid of them all.
The key to the whole thing was communication. So they set up a network of leased wires, put special transmitting equipment in all their regional offices so that all orders could be sent with a minimum of paperwork direct to the factory. Now, imagine the receiving end of this operation. No clerks struggling with numbers and names, just a steady stream of perforated tape gathering in the details of hundreds of orders, and simultaneously printing the necessary information for the stockroom. The tape could be fed directly into a computer for automatic processing, but this would be a pretty sophisticated operation, and they're not quite ready for it. The tape does, however, produce a set of punch cards for complete data control. Labels, invoices, file copies are all prepared automatically. And the important thing is that orders go out the same day. Faster service at less cost. No more rent, insurance, or labor costs in those warehouses. And with less money tied up in stock, they free capital for other purposes and reduce interest charges.
No field warehouses at all, huh? You know, that's not a bad piece of organization. The salesman will hate it.
Why should they?
Oh, there isn't a salesman in the field who doesn't want a warehouse within shouting distance.
They can shout over the leased wire.
Who'll be listening?
The computer.
Try telling that to a customer.
They have tried.
And it works.
But, Ned, the point is, when a company installs a computer for a specific purpose, like inventory control or payroll or accounting, that's just the beginning.
And Mecklin explained that an ingenious management can get extra benefits by processing in various ways the routine information which the machine accumulates.
For instance, knowing a customer's problems is good business, good promotion. And so is the marketing information we can give him. And the computer can help us with both.
All right, how? That's what you wanted me to say, isn't it?
Well, at least I know you're listening.
Of course I'm listening. What else can I do?
Well, you can't sell ice to an Eskimo, but you might sell him steam heat. If you have 50 million customers, or even 1,000, how can you know what each one of them needs?
All right, ask the computer. But it's a loaded question.
Customer service was one of Oscar's favorite topics, too.
Here's a report on a whole industry that's cooperating with its customers to solve their store inventory problem. Naturally, to help solve some of their own headaches, too.
So Oscar described some of the problems in the shoe business. Naturally, finding what a customer wants has always been the main problem. But with thousands of styles, sizes, colors, and materials, the man who runs a shoe store has a continual problem with inventory. Just trying to write out a description of an item can be tedious, wordy, and often inaccurate, while periodic checking of stock can be difficult and even dangerous. It was a group of retailers who suggested how to eliminate these old-fashioned methods. With the manufacturers, they worked out an industry-wide system using EDP. Of course, nothing can change the habits of the customer. But with the new system, every one of those boxes will have a standard punch card identifying the manufacturer and giving a complete description of the item. And when, eventually, there is a sale, then the benefits of the new plan will be apparent. Record keeping will be reduced to a minimum. These cards will be readable by a person or a machine, usable by giant chains with giant computers, or the small local merchant whose computer is a lead pencil. The result?
You see, every store will have a daily inventory and sales picture. It'll be a cinch to spot the hot items. Reordering will be easier. The order can be filled quicker because the manufacturer can gear his production to actual sales. Dead stock will be held to a bare minimum, and everybody's happy.
There were many examples of improved customer service through use of the computer. As Mecklin put it,
You're bound to have a competitive advantage if your computer can help a customer solve a problem or save money.
Even if it can't, it's a good sales pitch.
But it can.
This is your chicken salad sandwich,
thank you,
Mr.
dear.
Mecklin, and coffee.
Thanks very much. Now, you take the auto parts business, for instance. There's a distributor right here in this town. And if you know anything at all about...
and Mecklin explained that they handle as many as 30,000 items, everything from a 5-cent spring that's essential to make the car run, to replacement motors, fan belts, and even antique running boards that may be called for maybe once in 2 years. Customers are the large franchised agencies and mechanics working out of a hole-in-the-wall garage. They all have the same basic problem, limited working capital. They want to keep their inventories as small as possible and still provide top-notch service. So when they need something, they need it in a hurry. Then the distributor is on the spot. But this outfit had been advised by a consulting firm to install a computer. A big investment for a small company. But sometimes it's the small company that needs the extra efficiency most of all. Since the computer provides a complete inventory picture on a daily basis, he can maintain a minimum of each item and safely fill all his orders with about 3/4 of the stock he used to keep on his shelves. This saving in capital investment alone would have paid for the EDP system, but the distributor got additional benefits. He used the story of his computer's efficiency as a sales argument. His salesmen, even the fellows who delivered the parts, were able to convince customers they could get better service and safely reduce their own inventory by dealing with him.
As a matter of fact, I heard this from my own repairman.
There were reports of what other companies were doing whenever and wherever they got together.
Never mind what they did. Gaff the damn fish.
Pete did gaff the fish, and it was a nice one. Then he went right on with a long story about the sales problem of a big soft drink company and how they decided to use their computer to analyze the market of every one of their independent distributors.
Then they took this analysis to each distributor, showed him how actual sales compared to potential and what he could do to boost them.
Yeah.
And they claim he went out and sold a few more bottles.
I believe them, because that's not company hot air. It's statistical computer analysis.
Oh, I still say you need a good, hard-hitting salesman to put across ideas like that.
Well, nobody says that the computer's going to replace the salesman.
Or us, for that matter.
Well, they may not put us out of business, but they're sure going to put a crimp in our style. You know, nowadays a fellow walks in and he says, what am I going to do about, well, whatever it is? And I say, well, of course, first you have to get all the facts and the figures. You see, this gives me a couple of days to make up my mind. But with your new era, he says, I got all the facts and figures here. I whipped them up on my little computer. Now, where does that leave me?
Management's concern about what a computer will do to conventional operations is typical. So are situations like this.
But if you have too many factors expressed as symbols or algorithms, the multiple correlation itself will not define causality for you.
What the hell is an algorithm?
Oh, anyone can figure out what an algorithm is by using proper deconcatenation. No, look.
It's not just a resistance to change. It's the regrettable fact that at this stage of the game, so few of the men who understand computers talk the same language as marketing men, and vice versa. Now, this is regrettable because it's management that has the most to gain from these new techniques. And though we've reported examples of operations and service, it is actually the byproduct of these functions, the use of data for management judgment, planning, and decision that should be the big news of the future.
Knock it off. Nobody's interested.
Good night.
Oscar put the problem this way.
Walt, when you come right down to it, how do we make decisions, huh? Guesswork. Most of it based on past experience. Now, if we could take that past and bring it as close as possible to the present, we could reduce the margin of error. We could rectify mistakes before they go too far. Spot a trend before it becomes history. Now, you take the linoleum business, where they have to turn out a new line of patterns every year. What happened to Pete? It used to be their machines would spew out miles and miles of the stuff before they knew which one was selling. So one of the companies set up a panel of retailers all over the country, and they had them send in daily sales reports on punch cards. And then they fed these punch cards into the computer, you see. And they got a demand picture almost immediately. So what do? They rearranged their production schedules. Where the hell have you been? Well, come on, let's go. Never fails.
Another subject often discussed was the use of a computer as a tool in advertising. Can a machine tell you how much to spend on advertising, where to spend it, or how to do it most effectively? Doesn't this depend on instinct, trial and error, or, as Ned once said,
But it seems to me When you get to advertising, that's always a matter of judgment.
To a great extent. But the machine can digest and process bushels of marketing information in a way that's impossible now. And it can do it so quickly that your judgment or instinct or whatever you want to call it has a chance to make better decisions and correct decisions about your advertising.
Well, not just about advertising either. Oh, I read about some company, I can't remember which. They had more than 50,000 accounts on their books. It was only when they got a computer they found out only 2/3 of them were making any contribution to the net profits.
Now, in case you think these men spent all their time together wrestling with the problem of computers and marketing, let's set the record straight. Here's Pete Gallagher, for instance.
But how do we know when we've got a sensational product? How do we know how much to produce? How much to spend on advertising? That's where the computer comes in. It may not always tell you what to do, but there are times it's going to tell you what not to do.
Why not do it anyway?
There were, of course, moments like this, too.
Do you get it?
I think so. It just shows how you can use a computer to buy time for management. Now, you launch your campaign, you set your goals in terms of total sales for a given period of time. That's down here. Now, here is your expected profit. Right there. Now, something goes wrong. The sales fall off. Here. But time goes right on. Now, you find out about it, you spot the problem, you take corrective measures, and you start over again, but from here. Now, everything works out as you planned, but you can never make up that time, and your profits end up here. Now, that's where the computer comes in.
It's a little late, isn't it?
All right, touche. What I mean is, if you have a computer, it'll spot the deviation from projected sales at this point, before it's too late. After that, it's up to you to take corrective measures and start the wheels rolling again. But you saved all this time, and you've added this much profit.
Well, it's like having your own fire alarm system.
It's management by exception. The bell goes off when you're ahead of your objective, too. It gives you a chance to catch up to your opportunities.
That's the way I like it.
So the discussion continued week after week, month after month, each reporting what he had seen of the new business uses of computers.
Take the book publishing business. Now, he told me about a publisher who put punch cards in every volume he sold.
And every so often, Oscar would say,
"Well, damn it, I'm convinced. Why can't we settle the thing?"
Then Ned would raise another objection.
Whatever we buy now will be obsolete in a couple of years. Besides that, it'll be cheaper.
Or Bill would have another theory.
But you can't forecast all the variables. The computer might reveal which has the most direct effect on your own sales. You concentrate on that. Now, maybe it's available.
There just isn't time to present everything they learned or reported during the past year, so let's see if they'll indeed reach a decision.
All these ideas are very impressive, and I'm sure that we could use a computer.
Well,
But,
now what?
well, there are a hell of a lot of new things we could use in this business, and I don't think the computer heads the list.
Oh,
Meanwhile, our competitors are making this equipment pay off.
That is just my point. Let them have all the headaches paving the way, and we'll pick up the marbles.
If there are any left.
Look, there are problems. We all know that. Most of them have to do with gathering the information to feed into the machine. Some with how you handle it after it's processed. But we're living in a period of tremendous technological progress, as Walt said earlier, and a lot of it is in electronics and communication. The computer is only part of this progress, but it plays a special role because it becomes the electronic nerve center of your business and makes it possible for you, the brains, to take advantage of these new developments for more effective decisions. We can only begin to visualize what's in the offing. Ways to translate oral messages into punch cards, print, or some other medium for storage or processing. Portable instruments which a salesman can use to send orders with complicated specifications over the phone in a matter of minutes. Even routine operations like ringing up sales in a cash register can be fed right smack into a computer. And men like us will sit here in this office and look at that wall where the whole picture of our production and sales operation will be displayed electronically. No more written reports, no more mountains of paper. Something goes wrong in Des Moines, you push a button, and there's your district manager talking to you face to face over some sort of phonovision about every detail of the problem. How can we possibly understand the implications of this? In fact, I've met men at some companies and at some universities who know perfectly well what this machine can do for us on a daily basis, but who think it's kid stuff compared to the big changes that are coming. In the role of management, for instance, in the organization of business, even in the economy itself. There are already indications that these new inventory controls we've been talking about are revising the basis of accepted economic indexes on a national level. This could mean the end of overproduction, of the business cycle. But whether it does or not, the time is coming when it will be as impossible to run a business without a computer as without a telephone, and I don't think we should wait for that day.
Bravo.
Oh, now don't tell me he convinced you.
Did Douglas convince Lincoln? It was a good speech. Bill, let me ask you something. You're so enthusiastic. Would you be willing to give up your present job and concentrate on this gadget if we get one?
Well, I don't want to run it, if that's what you mean. The job of planning and integration of the computer will be one of the most important in this company or any other in the next few years.
But you don't know anything about planning or integration or all that technical stuff.
You're right, but there are experts and consultants who do.
Most people have a study made of their whole organization, so they know how to integrate the system.
More money down the drain.
Far from it. They might even tell you not to invest in a computer.
In any case, you get an objective analysis made of your whole business system, and that's worth a lot.
You can get help from the manufacturers, too.
They'll even give you ready-made programming.
And there are so many companies making the computer today, it's a buyer's market.
Seen any price tags lately?
We may not need to buy the most expensive.
So it goes. And how it ends, we'll never know.
Well, that can be expensive, too.
You could start out using a service center.
You can start out leaving well enough alone.
Or drop dead.
Oh, come on.
We do know, however, that this investigation has merely scratched the surface of computer use. That some of the most intricate mechanisms ever designed are now, or soon will be, within the reach of virtually every company. And in the last analysis, it will be the ingenuity and imagination of men like this that determines what the fabulous development of EDP will accomplish for business and for all of us.